I observed my phone illuminate with 17 missed calls within a span of less than 10 minutes. My daughter's name repeatedly flashed across the screen, followed by my son's and then my daughter in law's. The urgency in their messages was almost poetic. Mom, please call back. Mom, what did you do? Mom, you can't do this. Yet I could, and I did. Greetings. My name is Hazel Mitchell, and I am 67 years old. I reside in a serene suburb outside Columbus, Ohio. Until 3 weeks ago, I believed I was living the life I had worked diligently to create. Welcome to my channel. Before I share what transpired, I would appreciate knowing where you are all tuning in from. Please leave your city or state in the comments below. It helps me feel less isolated. Now let me take you back to where this all began. For 43 years, I was married to Richard Mitchell. Together, we built a fulfilling life. He was an engineer, and I was a school teacher. We raised 2 children, Jennifer and Michael, in a 4-bedroom colonial home that we paid off 15 years ago. Richard passed away suddenly 4 years ago due to a heart attack. One day he was here, planning our retirement cruise, and the next, he was gone. Grief is a peculiar experience. It does not overwhelm you all at once. It arrives in waves, often when you least expect it. For me, it hit every time I opened the mail and saw his name still on the accounts, still on the bills, still everywhere. Yet I persevered. That is what one does, isn't it? Following Richard's death, my children stepped up in ways that filled me with pride. Jennifer lived just 20 minutes away with her husband Tom and their 2 teenage sons, while Michael resided across town with his wife Rachel and their young daughter. They both held good jobs, owned nice homes, and maintained busy lives. They called regularly and visited during holidays. I believed we were close. Approximately 2 years ago, Jennifer suggested that I add her name to my checking account. Just in case something happens, Mom, she said, so I can assist you with bills if you fall ill or require help. It made sense. She was my daughter, and I trusted her completely. So I agreed. Then, Michael requested that I co-sign a car loan for him. His credit had suffered during the pandemic, and he needed a reliable vehicle for work. Just to help me get approved, Mom, he said. I will handle all the payments. You won't have to do anything. He was my son, so of course I assisted him. Jennifer's husband, Tom, started a small landscaping business and needed someone with good credit to help secure a business loan. You won't have to pay anything, Hazel, he assured me. Just sign as a guarantor. We will manage everything. They were family. That is what family does. Rachel, Michael's wife, needed her name added to my credit card to rebuild her credit after some financial difficulties in her 20s. Just as an authorized user, Hazel, she explained, it will really help me. How could I refuse? The house, the beautiful home Richard and I purchased when we were just 30 years old, required some updates. The roof was aging, and the HVAC system was older than my grandchildren. Jennifer suggested we add her name to the deed for estate planning purposes. It will simplify things when the time comes, Mom, she said. No probate, no hassle. Although my lawyer friend at church mentioned that this wasn't strictly necessary, Jennifer seemed so adamant about protecting me that I signed the papers. In hindsight, it all seems so clear. However, when you are in the midst of it, when you are simply trying to be a good mother and maintain your connection with your children after losing your husband, you do not see the web being woven around you. I continued to work part-time at the library after retiring from teaching, not for financial necessity, but for a sense of purpose. Richard's life insurance, our savings, his pension, and my retirement as a teacher provided me with financial comfort. I was not wealthy, but I was comfortable enough to live well, travel occasionally, and assist my children when they needed it. And I did help them. I supported Jennifer when her youngest required braces, and I aided Michael when Rachel lost her job for 3 months. I financed family vacations to the beach and purchased birthday and Christmas gifts. I was a mother, and that is what mothers do. 3 weeks ago, everything changed. It was a Sunday afternoon in November when we all gathered at my house for dinner, an event we held monthly. I had spent the entire morning preparing Richard's favorite pot roast, the one with carrots and potatoes that Jennifer adored. The house smelled delightful, and the table was set with fine china. Everyone arrived around 2 p.m. The grandkids dashed through the house as usual, while Tom and Michael chatted in the kitchen over beers, discussing football. Rachel and Jennifer set the table, conversing about a sale at the mall. After dinner, once the children had gone outside to play and the dishes were cleaned, we all settled in the living room with coffee. That was when I broached the subject. "I've been considering selling the house," I said cautiously. The room fell silent. Jennifer's coffee cup halted midway to her mouth. "Selling?" Michael inquired. "Why would you sell?" "It's too large for just me," I explained. "4 bedrooms and all this yard work. I was thinking of perhaps getting a nice condo, something smaller and easier to maintain, so I could travel more and spend Richard's life insurance money on seeing the world before I am too old to enjoy it." I smiled as I spoke, expecting them to be supportive and understanding. Jennifer and Michael exchanged a glance, a fleeting moment, but I caught it. "Mom," Jennifer said slowly, setting down her coffee, "don't you think that's a bit impulsive?" "Impulsive?" I laughed. "I've been contemplating this for months." "You're 67 years old," Tom interjected. "This is your home, Dad's home. Are you certain you want to make such a significant decision? The real estate market is terrible right now." Michael added, "You would lose a lot of money, and moving is stressful. At your age, at my age," I felt my spine straighten. "I'm 67, not 97. Rachel placed a hand on Michael's arm. "What Michael means is that you've been through so much, losing Richard, adjusting to being alone. Perhaps you should wait a little longer before making such a substantial change." "I appreciate your concern," I said, striving to keep my voice steady. "However, this is my decision. It's my house." "Actually," Jennifer said, and something in her tone made my stomach tighten. "It's our house too now, Mom. Your name and mine are both on the deed, remember? For estate planning." The way she said, "our house," sent a chill through my chest. "I only added your name for legal reasons," I said carefully. "After I'm gone." "Right, but legally we both own it now," Jennifer continued. "This means any decision about selling it should involve the family." I looked at my daughter, truly looked at her. When had her face become so hardened? "A family discussion?" I repeated, regarding my home, where I had lived for 40 years. "Mom, don't be dramatic," Michael said. "We're merely suggesting you consider this more thoughtfully. Think about us. Think about you. We're your family." Jennifer added, "This house will be ours someday. It has equity. It's an investment. You can't just sell it on a whim because you're feeling lonely." "I'm not lonely," I stated, though I could hear the tremor in my voice. "Look," Tom said, leaning forward. "Here's the thing, Hazel. That business loan you guaranteed, my company is still being established. If you sell this house and move somewhere smaller, your assets change, and that could affect my credit line. The bank might call the loan." I stared at him. "Your credit line?" "And I'm still paying off the car you co-signed for," Michael added. "If you make significant financial moves, it could impact my interest rate, possibly even flag my account. I could incur fees. And I need to keep using your credit card to maintain my score," Rachel said, avoiding eye contact. "If you alter your accounts, it could jeopardize what I've built up." I scanned the room, taking in the faces of these 4 individuals, my children and their spouses, whom I had welcomed into my family. They all bore the same expression. Not concern, not love, but calculation. "So, what you're telling me," I said slowly, "is that I cannot sell my house, cannot manage my own finances, cannot make my own decisions because it might inconvenience all of you." "That's not what we're saying," Jennifer protested. "Then what are you saying?" Jennifer sighed, the kind of sigh one gives a difficult child. "We're saying you need to think about the family, not just yourself. You're not alone anymore, Mom. Your decisions affect all of us now." "Because I tried to help you," I replied. "Because I added your names to things to ease your lives." "Well, yes," Michael said as if it were obvious. "That's what family does. We help each other." I felt something within me crack, not break, at least not yet, but crack. "I see," I said quietly. Tom stood, clearly ready to leave. "Look, we don't want you to feel bad about this, Hazel. We're just being realistic. You're getting older. It's good that you have us to help guide these decisions." "Guide?" I echoed. "That's what kids do," Rachel stated, smiling. "Eventually the roles reverse, right? We take care of you now." Jennifer approached and patted my shoulder. "Don't worry, Mom. We'll handle everything. You don't need to stress about these big decisions." Then Michael uttered the words that changed everything. "Honestly, Mom," he chuckled, "you should be grateful. We can manage all of this for you. You can relax." They began gathering their belongings, calling for the children, and moving on to whatever they had planned for the rest of their Sunday. I stood in my living room, the house I had inhabited for 4 decades, and watched my children prepare to leave. They were laughing about something Tom had said, making plans for Thanksgiving, discussing which restaurant they would try next weekend. Not one of them glanced back at me. The door closed behind them, and I remained in silence. Surrounding me were the remnants of the dinner I had prepared, the fine china I had washed by hand, and the photographs adorning the walls of their weddings, their children, their lives that I had helped cultivate. "We can manage without you." Those words echoed in my empty house, and something within me did not merely crack, it shattered. Yet from that shattered place emerged something else, something sharp, clear, and absolutely certain. We were about to discover just how much they could manage without me. That night, I did not sleep. I sat in Richard's old recliner and reflected on everything, every account, every document I had signed, every instance I had consented when perhaps I should have asked more questions. By morning, I had devised a plan. I would like to take a moment to ask you something. If you are watching this and have ever felt exploited by those you love, if you have realized that your kindness was mistaken for weakness, please hit that subscribe button. You are not alone. None of us are alone. On Monday morning, I arrived at the bank promptly at 9 a.m. "I need to remove someone from my checking account," I informed the manager, a kind woman named Susan who had worked there for years. "Of course, Mrs. Mitchell," she replied. "Is everything all right?" "Everything is fine," I assured her. "I just need to make some changes." Jennifer's name was removed from my checking account, then from my savings account, and finally from the money market account that held most of Richard's life insurance funds. "I also need to order new credit cards," I told Susan. "Someone stole my card number, and I need to cancel all my cards and have new ones issued." It was not entirely untrue. Someone had indeed taken something from me, just not my card number. "Would you like us to issue new cards to your authorized users as well?" Susan inquired. "No," I replied. "Please remove all authorized users from my accounts." Rachel's access to my credit card ended with a click from Susan's mouse. Next, I contacted the mortgage company regarding Michael's car loan. "I need to remove myself as a co-signer," I stated. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but you cannot remove yourself from an active loan," the representative explained. "The primary borrower would need to refinance in their name only." "I understand," I replied. "What occurs if I report the vehicle as not in my possession and express my desire to disclaim responsibility?" There was a pause. "Well, that would trigger a review of the loan. If the primary borrower cannot qualify on their own, the loan could be called due immediately." "I see. Let me discuss refinancing with my son. How long does he have?" "We typically provide 30 days notice for refinancing requirements." "Thank you," I said, ending the call. I made a similar call regarding Tom's business loan. The process was more intricate, but the outcome remained the same. As a guarantor, I could request to be removed, which would necessitate him finding a new guarantor or paying off the loan. Then came the challenging part. I contacted my real estate attorney, the one who had handled Richard's estate. "I need to remove someone from my property deed," I stated. "Hazel," he said carefully, "if Jennifer is on the deed as a joint tenant with rights of survivorship, she has ownership rights. You cannot simply remove her without her consent." "What if we sell the property?" I asked. "Then both of you would need to agree to the sale, and you would both receive proceeds based on ownership percentage. And if I wish to sell and she did not, that becomes complicated. You may potentially need to file a partition action to force a sale, which can be costly and time-consuming." I contemplated this. What if I transferred my share to her and simply signed it over? "You could do that, but then you would have no ownership in your own home. But I would also have no obligation to it, correct? No liability?" "Well, yes, but Hazel, what's going on?" "I'm making changes," I replied simply. "Thank you for your assistance." I had one more call to make. The phone call commenced 37 minutes after the bank closed that Monday. I was in my kitchen preparing a cup of tea when my phone rang. Jennifer's name appeared on the screen. I allowed it to ring through to voicemail. She called back immediately. I declined the call. A text message arrived. "Mom, call me right now. Something's wrong with the bank account." Then Michael called. Then Rachel. Then Tom. Then Jennifer again. My phone was lighting up like a Christmas tree. I powered on my computer and checked my email. 3 messages from Jennifer, 4 from Michael, 2 from Rachel, and 1 from Tom's business partner, someone I had never even met. "Mrs. Mitchell, there's been an issue with our credit line." I deleted them all. My phone rang again, this time from Jennifer. I answered. "Hi, sweetheart," I said calmly. "Mom, oh my God, finally. What happened to the bank accounts? I tried to transfer money for groceries and it said I no longer have access." "That's correct," I replied. "I removed you from my accounts." Silence. "You what?" "I removed your name from all my accounts. They are my accounts, Jennifer, just mine." "You can't do that. I need access to those accounts." "Why?" I asked simply. "Because what if you need help? What if something happens?" "What if something happens?" I echoed. "You mean like I fall ill or have an emergency?" "Yes." "Then I suppose I will handle it myself. After all, you told me yesterday that you can manage without me. I thought I would give you the opportunity to prove it." "Mom, that's not what I meant, and you know it." "Isn't it?" I maintained my calm tone. "You informed me that I could not sell my house because it would inconvenience you. You stated that I couldn't make my own financial decisions because they might affect your credit lines, your business loans, and your credit score. You told me I should simply relax and allow you to handle everything. So, I'm taking your advice. I am relaxing, and you are handling everything. This is insane. You are being completely irrational." "Am I? Let me ask you something, Jennifer. How much money have you transferred from my checking account in the past year?" Silence, as I had reviewed my bank statements that morning. Really looked at them, and do you know what I found? Transfers to your account, sometimes $50, sometimes $200, sometimes more. Regular as clockwork. What were those for? Those were for groceries when I was short, or for the boys' activities, or for things you wanted and decided I should pay for. I finished without asking me. "You're my mother. You would have said yes." "But you didn't ask," I replied quietly. "That's the point. You just took it." Michael's name began flashing on my screen. "Call waiting." "Your brother's calling," I said. I imagine his car payment just bounced. "Mom, please." Jennifer's voice became frantic. "You're making a huge mistake. We're your family." "Yes," I concurred. "You are, and I am learning what that means." I hung up and answered Michael's call. "Mom, what on earth did you do to my car loan?" "Hello to you too, son. The loan company just contacted me. They said you requested to be removed as a cosigner, and now I have 30 days to refinance or they will repossess my car." "That is unfortunate," I said. "I hope your credit has improved since I cosigned for you." "You know it hasn't. I need that car for work. You cannot do this." "Actually, I can. I did." "Why? What did I do?" "You told me you could manage without me," I stated. "Here's your chance." "I didn't mean it like that." "Jesus, Mom, we were just trying to help you." "Help me," I repeated. "By telling me I cannot sell my own house? By using my credit card without asking? By treating me as if I am incompetent?" "We never said you were incompetent." "Rachel called me yesterday to instruct me on what restaurant I should try for lunch this week. Tom explained to me how to use my own television remote, even though I have had that TV for 3 years. Jennifer schedules my doctor's appointments without consulting me first. You called last week to tell me what I should cook for Thanksgiving in my own home. We were being helpful." "No," I said. "You were managing me, taking control, rendering me irrelevant in my own life. But you all made it abundantly clear that you can manage without me, so now you will. This is ridiculous. You're acting like a child. I, I am acting like someone who has just realized she has been taken advantage of. There is a distinction." "Fine," Michael shouted. "Fine, keep your money, keep your accounts. Let's see if we ever help you again." "I won't need help," I asserted. "I have been managing just fine for 67 years." He hung up on me. The calls and messages continued throughout the evening. Angry messages, pleading messages, messages insisting I was being unreasonable, selfish, and irrational. Messages claiming they were merely trying to protect me and that I would regret this. Tom's business partner contacted me to express that I was jeopardizing a legitimate business over a family dispute. Rachel sent a lengthy text detailing how hurt she was, how she believed I loved her like a daughter, and how I could do this to her credit score. Jennifer left a voicemail expressing concern for my mental state and suggested looking into options for my well-being. That last one made me laugh, a dark laugh, but still a laugh. I turned my phone off and went to bed. The following morning, I reactivated my phone to find 43 new messages. I ignored them all and drove to my lawyer's office. I want to sell my house, I told him. He appeared concerned. Hazel, we discussed this. Jennifer is on the deed. She would need to agree. I am aware, I replied, so I will make her an offer. I will sign over my half of the house to her entirely. She can have it free and clear. You would be relinquishing your home. Would I inquired, or would I be relinquishing a burden? That house is large, old, and expensive to maintain. The roof requires replacement, and the HVAC system is failing. The property taxes keep increasing. If it is solely in her name, all of that becomes her responsibility. The maintenance, the taxes, the insurance, everything. Understanding dawned on his face, and you would be free to purchase something smaller. Precisely. Something in my name only, something no one can claim any stake in. She might not accept it. She will, I asserted confidently, because Jennifer likes to win. If I offer to simply give her the house, she will perceive it as a victory. She will not consider what it entails. I was correct. When I called Jennifer later that afternoon to propose signing over my half of the house to her, there was a lengthy pause. You're just giving me the house? She asked suspiciously. I would. You were correct yesterday. It should be a family asset, and you are family. I will sign whatever papers are required. You will own it outright. What's the catch? No catch, I replied. I will move out by the end of the month. The house is yours. Another pause. I could almost hear her thinking, calculating, convincing herself she had triumphed. Fine, she finally said. I will take it. Wonderful. I will have my attorney draft the papers. But, Mom, she added, her voice adopting that syrupy tone she used when she desired something, perhaps we should discuss the bank accounts as well. I truly do need access in case. No, I stated simply and hung up. 3 days later, I signed the papers transferring the deed entirely to Jennifer's name. My attorney appeared saddened when I did so. Are you certain about this, Hazel? Completely sure, I affirmed. That same day, I made an offer on a beautiful 2-bedroom condo in a new 55-plus community across town. It boasted a view of a small lake, a modern kitchen, and included maintenance in the HOA fees. No yard work, no repairs, no exorbitant utility bills. I utilized Richard's life insurance money for the down payment, funds that had been sitting in an account, accruing minimal interest because I had been too afraid to use it, too concerned about saving it for the kids. The very kids who had told me they could manage without me. Moving day occurred on a Friday. I had hired professional movers and spent the week packing up 40 years of my life. I took what I wanted, my clothes, my books, Richard's favorite chair, our wedding china, the photo albums, and a few pieces of furniture that held significance. I left everything else. Jennifer arrived around noon with Tom. They had been driving by every few days to check on things, though they had not offered to assist me with packing. You're truly doing this? Jennifer observed as the movers loaded boxes into the truck. I really am. Where are you even going? I bought a condo, I replied. A beautiful place. You will have to visit sometime. You bought a place? With what money? My money, I stated simply. The life insurance money from your father, my teacher's pension, my savings, my money. Tom walked through the house, and I discerned him calculating, noting the worn carpet, the outdated fixtures, and the leak stain on the ceiling from the old roof. You know, he said slowly, this place requires a lot of work. Yes, I concurred. It does. But that is Jennifer's problem now. It is her house. Jennifer's expression shifted as the reality began to settle in. What do you mean, my problem? The house is now solely in your name, I explained patiently, which means you are responsible for it. The property taxes, the insurance, the repairs, the utilities, all of it. Congratulations on your investment. But I don't want to live here. I have my own house. Then you should probably list it for sale, I suggested. Though, as Tom mentioned, it requires work that will affect your selling price, and the market is presently poor. You may incur a loss. I observed her face transition through various emotions: confusion, understanding, and then anger. You did this on purpose. I provided you exactly what you requested, I replied. You wanted the house, you have it. This is not what I meant. No, I agreed. You intended to prevent me from selling it so you could inherit it eventually, keeping me confined here, maintaining it, and covering its expenses while you waited. But here's what you failed to comprehend, sweetheart. I am 67, not 97. I could live another 20 or 30 years. That is a long time to maintain a house you do not want, simply so someone else can inherit it. The movers completed loading the truck. My car was packed with the last few items. I will leave the utilities active until the end of the month, I informed Jennifer. After that, you will need to transfer them to your name. There is a binder on the kitchen counter with all the account information, contractor numbers for when the roof eventually collapses, and the name of the HVC company that has kept that system operational through sheer determination. Good luck. I walked to my car. Wait, Jennifer called after me. You cannot just leave. I turned back to face my daughter standing in the doorway of the house that was now hers, along with all the challenges it entailed. Yes, I can, I stated calmly. You told me you could manage without me. Prove it. I drove away and did not look back. The aftermath, that was 3 weeks ago. Michael's car was repossessed last week. Apparently, his credit was insufficient to refinance independently, and he could not meet the balloon payment required by the loan company. He called to yell at me about it, but I had already blocked his number. Rachel's credit score plummeted by 60 points when I canceled my credit cards, and she lost her status as an authorized user. She sent me a lengthy email detailing how I had ruined her financial future. I deleted it without responding. Tom's business loan was called due when I formally requested to be removed as a guarantor. He had to secure a high-interest personal loan to cover it. His business partner sent me a threatening letter regarding legal action. My attorney responded with a letter explaining that I had not engaged in any illegal activity and advised them to cease contact. I have not heard from them since. Jennifer did list the house for sale. It remained on the market for 2 weeks before she received a low-ball offer that she had no choice but to accept. After covering the repairs the inspector mandated and the closing costs, she barely broke even. She is not speaking to me. I am now living in my beautiful condo by the lake. Each morning, I awaken to watch the sunrise over the water. I have joined a book club with other women in the community, taken a watercolor painting class, and am planning a trip to Italy next spring, something Richard and I always discussed but never accomplished. My phone no longer rings with demands. No one asks for money or access to my accounts. No one instructs me on what I should or should not do with my own life. The silence was initially deafening, but now it resonates with freedom. Yesterday, I received an email from Jennifer, not an apology, but a tentative request to discuss matters. I have not yet decided whether I will respond. Here's what I have learned. Being a good mother does not entail sacrificing oneself. It does not mean allowing your children to exploit you. It does not mean accepting disrespect or being managed like a child yourself. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is allow your children to stand on their own 2 feet, even when they are 40 years old, and should have learned how to do so already. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to remember that you matter too. I am Hazel Mitchell. I am 67 years old. I reside in a beautiful condo by a lake in Ohio, and I can manage just fine without them as well. Please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. With love and respect.